Hi, today's game is between Keres and Tigran Petrosian. Keres is one of the strongest player in history, chess history, and he's one of those players who never became world champion but was always eligible, highly eligible to become world champion. So Keres is white here, and Tigran Petrosian is black. In this game, I have chosen this game for a particular reason. That is, this game is one where Petrosian shows particular aspect of a great chess player. And what is that? In this top level games, it's very important that you wait you should always wait or reposition or position your pieces in such a way to gain a slight advantage over your opponent. When your opponent think about it. Your opponent is not someone who will blunder or who will make errors on every move. We are talking about an opponent who is a very strong grandmaster, and obviously what you have to do is you have to position your game, get a position where based on the inaccuracies of your opponent. So with each move you have to strive to gain even a slight advantage over your opponent, and when you have that, that's when you strike. And that's what Petrosian did here. He played a very strong game, very tight game. He never gave Keres any chance to attack, and when he had the slightest chance, he converted that into a win. So let's go on with the game. e4, c5, knight to f3, knight to n6, knight to c6, sorry, d4, c into d4, knight into d4, g6, c4. Pretty common game. Here you can see that Keres is actually opening his position. He's opening the diagonals for his bishops, the white square bishop and the dark square bishop. Also creating the space for this b knight on b square to improve. And also, one more thing. It's also with each move gaining some important square on the board, gaining space, and this is very important as we know as chess players. So let's see how the game went on. Bishop to g7 as we expected, targeting the knight. So with two pieces, and it's protected with only queen. So you need a defender there, and bishop e3, knight to f6, targeting this hanging pawn. Need to protect that. nc3, knight to g4, trying to exchange for this nice dark square bishop. And if the only way to play this position is to play with this take the knight with this queen, but unfortunately this knight falls then. So that's what happens. Knight into d4, queen comes back to d1, knight e6. Normally, any average player, any normal player would play knight c6, get back to the same square, but this is Tigran Petrosian, and he was actually aiming to move his knight to a better square, and that is c5, targeting the e4 pawn. So queen d2, creating a nice angle over here. Let me draw it for you. Software. Yeah, So this is the angle that Keres is actually looking at. Perhaps if it is being taken by this bishop, then the queen is placed to h6, which is nice square for the queen to be in. So d6 and bishop e2, just developing pieces. Bishop d7, castling, rook a c1, coming to a semi-open file. Bishop c6, preparing for that knight, the black knight, to come to c5 and then target the e4 pawn, and rook fd1, just building pressure on the d file. Knight to c5 as we expected. f3, protecting that pawn. a5, preemptive move for b4, driving that knight away. q6, queen b6. I don't understand. Here, if you think about it, at first you will not understand the reason of this move, but if you look closely, here's what happens. Suppose if there was any tactic, like if Keres wanted to play this move, then what would happen is this knight would move over here. The queen is directly checking the king, white king, and thus this rook falls. So this was a great this was sort of a tactical position, and Keres was not will not obviously fall for this cheap trick. Knight b5. I think knight to d5 would have been better position. d5 would have been better position, targeting the queen and also targeting this hanging pawn. In that case, the queen would only have to move to its original square. This would have been much better. Rook fc8. I think here Keres wanted to push the g pawn forward and perhaps bring the bishop from the first rank to h3, a much better square, a much attacking square for the bishop. Queen to d8, queen moves away, understands that Keres is not going to fall for that, so just trying to reposition the queen. Queen f2. At this moment there is a tactic, if you can notice, this bishop is going to take this knight, and it cannot be captured by this pawn, because then this rook takes the queen. So queen e8, moving the queen into a safe place. Knight into c3, trying to reposition the knight to d6 and d5 and b6. Don't know why this move was played by Petrosian. Perhaps he was thinking to bring his rook to the second rank, protecting this hanging, not hanging at this moment, but still it's important square, and bringing this rook on the second rank, or you can say the 7th rank, from the white side, it just strengthens this square. So b6 actually serves that purpose, and if time requires, this bishop can always move back to the a8 square. So rc2, rook c2. We are seeing pairing of rooks here. Queen f8. supposedly Petrosian is perhaps thinking about whether this knight would be come to the d5 square, and in that case, to drive it away, it might need to push this e pawn to e6. Perhaps that was the reason, and in that case the d6 pawn will be hanging. So to protect that pawn, the queen comes to f8, queen d2, just attacking that, or you can say putting pressure on that d6 pawn, and bishop d7. You can see that right here the bishop wasn't doing anything, because with all this white square pawn chain, the bishop was actually restricted, limited, so it was not doing anything. So it needed a better square for itself, and this move just repositions itself. Knight to d5, attacking that hanging b6 pawn, protected by the rook now. Bishop g5, attacking the pawn. You can't really move the pawn here. You see, you can't really move the pawn here, because in that case the knight would move to this important and unprotected f6 square. It's taking the queen and either taking the white bishop or the black square bishop, sorry. So either taking the white square bishop or the black square bishop. So giving up the bishop was not a good idea, obviously. So not to fall into this trick, the rook moves into e8 square. Rook e1, just bringing the white rook in the same file as the black rook, and rook e7, bringing it into the 7th rank as we expected. Queen f2. Queen f2 actually, you can see that queen f2 actually thinks of getting the h4 square, and bishop c6. The bishop was not really doing anything, putting pressure on the knight here, and queen h4. The only way to stop this is f6, bishop e3, bringing the bishop back to its own square, e6, driving the knight away, not giving away the bishop right now. Knight c3, rook d7. You'll see that in this whole game, this d6 square is being focused on a lot, and both the side either protects this pawn, or either attacks this pawn, or builds up or backs up this pawn to push this forward. So this has been done, or this has been maneuvered a couple of times in this game. So let's see. Bishop d4. If the queen moves somewhere, then this then the f6 pawn falls. So because it is being protected by the queen and the bishop. f5. A good decision by Petrosian, because this bishop, let me show you, this bishop is not really doing anything at this moment. It's just protecting the black squares of black, dark squares of black. So and if this bishop moves, if this bishop moves, then this rook can move over to g7, which is a good square to be in. You see, it is directly in front of the white king. Into the f5 and g into f5, rook d2, again bringing the rook directly attacking or targeting the d6 pawn, and b into d4 and rook into d4. I don't think this was good move, because as of now you can see that the squares have already been taken by black, and if the e6 pawn moves to e5, then again this square, the d4 square and the f4 square, is controlled by black. So this rook really, this move really didn't make any sense. Rather, if the queen would have moved to this position, it could have been reassigned to the f2 square or the d2 square with e1 rook to e2. So perhaps this would have been a better play by white, but anyway, you can see that this area is being opened already, and this bishop is in a nice diagonal, although it is blocked by this two pawn, but with a rook in this place, this bishop can already take this pawn, and the bishop cannot be taken back because the king is over here directly in front of the rook. So that was a nice setup. Rook g7, king h1, moving the king away. Rook g6, perhaps this was the idea, bringing the queen over here, then rook over here, and rook d2, moving the rook. Rook d1, rook d8, sorry, rook d1, piling up on the d6 pawn again. Rook d7. You see, in this game, this was a very positional game, and to analyze this game is sort of hard. You can see that, because this rook helps to make space for the queen to move along the 8th rank, and also it helps the 7th rook on the 7th rank to move to the g7 square, both of them piling on the g2 square. Queen f2, moving the queen away, it was not serving any purpose. Queen d8, focusing on that d6 pawn. You can see that in this case the d6 pawn can be moved forward, protected by the bishop, the pawn on e6, the rook on d7, and the queen on d8. Queen e3, stop, gaining control over the dark squares over here, stopping this rook from moving into the important h6 square, and e5, f4. Now here to understand that here the idea was to block the queen away, but it was to be stopped, and f4, but according to the computer this was not a good move, but well, what can we do with that? e4, knight e2, repositioning the knight, perhaps either to d4 or to g3, and rook to g7, piling on the g2 square, knight to nd4. This was a good move, attacking the bishop over here, and also protecting the g2 square. Bishop d7, stopping any movement, nasty movement by the knight, and also positioning the bishop for later play. a3, trying to push the knight away. Queen a8, protecting the a5 pawn, and also coming into a direct diagonal towards the king, white king. King g1, h5. This is a very dangerous pawn, and if it moves forward to h6, it can become dangerous, to be honest. Rook b1, trying to bring the rook to the second rank to fortify the g2 square. h4, the h pawn moves forward. Rook bb2, rook g4, protecting the pawn and also making way for the queen to come to the d8 square or the e8 square, targeting the h5 square or the h4 square if the pawn moves into this important h3 square. Rook f2. This was a clever move because you see, in this position to protect the g2 square, the queen had to move either to the e2 square or the f2 square, and this would lead to the capturing of the queen. Losing the white queen will instantly lose the game for white. So in that case, Keres actually made way for the rook, and he put the rook in front of the queen so that the queen can be later on brought behind the rook. b4, as we expected. Rook g3. This was the turning point of the game, and sacrificing this rook, as I said that in this game, with the slightest advantage, Petrosian actually turned this game around with this sacrifice. The whole structure of the game changed, and as you can see, the only way to stop this, stop this nasty rook, with both this rook on the same file, to stop this play, the right way to move was take it with the h pawn, and it would be taken with the h pawn again. So either you sacrifice this rook, or what you can do is you can move it away. You can either sacrifice this rook, leave it over there, bring the queen to this square, or you can always take it back with the b2 rook, or you can bring this to a safer square, either to d2 or to e2, or you can also move it to f3, sacrificing the rook but creating square for white. However, Keres was not ready to lose that rook. He perhaps calculated, I don't know how, but he perhaps calculated that he can save his queen later on with the attack. So he moved his rook to d2 square, and now the queen comes to h4. We can see that if the black queen is actually threatening to come to h2 square and mating the queen, mating white. So to stop that, the only way was to move this bishop into f2. Obviously it can't be moved to the d3 square because it will be taken back with the knight. So the only square was bishop into e2, and now Keres thought that if you say the rook moves to the h file and the queen comes to the g file, before that the king needs to move to the f1 square so that this white queen will eventually block the attack by placing itself on the g1 square, and that's what happens. King f1, but the game is already in a very dire state with the move queen into f4. That was a solid move because you either take this queen, but if you take this queen, this rook comes and it's checkmate. Or if you move this king away, then as you can see, Petrosian captures the queen. So either way the game is lost, and as you see, Keres resigns here. So I think this was a very good game. This is a very good game by a master, and what we can see is that with all this restructuring, with all this you can see that let's see from here, you can see how the game proceeds, and Petrosian has been steadily improving his position, blocking any attempt by Keres to enforce any pressure on the black position. And when it finally got the chance, it struck back. I think this was a very nice game, and I have learned a lot from this game, and hopefully all chess players, all my chess friends who are watching this video will also learn a lot from this beautiful and remarkable remarkable positional play. As Bobby Fischer said, tactics come from a position, solid position. Thank you.